Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I love the look that you have. You got like
Oh,
this bag behind you. You're just signing on like a badass in the morning. It's like, look, I'm gonna take names. I'm taking on the day right now. I'm making sure Chelsea shows up because if she doesn't, it's not gonna be the greatest day for us. Chelsea, welcome in
yes,
here.
yes.
Cialo, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing,
Before
buddy?
I forget,
Go ahead.
let's just can you can we just stay on after we end?
Yeah,
If you have a minute.
yeah, of course.
Cool.
I got some minutes. I
Awesome.
got some minutes.
Nice, dude.
Um, yeah. So, how was your weekend, dude?
The weekend. How was the weekend? The weekend was what a good question. Because I feel like I have to like go back. It's like one of those
Planning the
things
transition.
where what's that?
Planning your transition.
Yeah, we've been talking this transition for a bit and like if there's a transition in life, I know that I'm not the most enjoyable person to transition with because like I will complain and it will look on the surface like I'm really upset and like I don't want to do this. That's not the case though. It's just like my way of like dealing with it, which kind of seems immature and childish. And so I know Lauren has to put up those kind of things like, oh God, like what are we doing? Like I don't get this. Did we think this through? Whatever else. And so for at least like 2 weeks it's been something, and it's just because when there's more coordination between people, that's what I don't like, that's what I don't enjoy doing.
Mm,
Like you ask me to take care of myself and I have to do something different, totally fine. But now when I have to coordinate those things and make sure that I have to take their feelings into account and still kind of keep them, especially with clients, it's like, hey, can you move to this different day after we've been doing this for 3 years?
oh
Right,
yeah.
there's like the worry of like, oh, like are they still going to be my client, are they going to push back against it, and now I have to figure out if this actually works because honestly it's still kind of a trial, so like we're both doing this together, then I have to check back in with you. It's like my own thinking, and I know it's a me thing, but that's how it goes. So we've been doing it for a bit, so this weekend really wasn't so much that, but the weekend it was, I feel I'm upset because it's like one of those things where like the days feel long, but the years are short. And so it's like, wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
What did I get out of it? Um, so instead of that, what I'll say is this, is that I think it was a good weekend. But before we get away from that, I know that Brooklyn, your daughter, had a great swim.
Bailey.
Bailey had a
Yeah.
great swim.
Um, yeah. Our weekend was pretty solid. Brooklyn actually left us Thursday evening to go with her grandparents to Las Vegas.
Ooh,
So she was in Las Vegas for the weekend celebrating my wife's brother's birthday. So she got to hang out with them by the pool. With they have one kid about her age that she's really good friends with. So she got to hang out with her bestie, as she calls him, her cousin.
oh, nice.
Um, and we were down to two kids for the most part. But yes, I got to take Bailey to a big swim meet. Like, I don't know, 20 different high schools or something like that. Like normally these have these little swim meets where it's just her team versus one other school's team, but this one was a lot more. Just kids and parents everywhere. She did really good. She had like a personal best, got second place, and she just,
Wow.
yeah, all around had a good time. And I had a good time watching her. And then yesterday, I just impromptu texted my buddy and said, "You want to come over and hit the jacuzzi?" And he brought his kids over, and we hung out for like an hour, just chilling to cap the day.
You know what? You know what? We all we all need a dom in our life. We need that friend that's gonna just give you a call and say, "Hey, bring your kids, come chill in the hot tub." And I feel like I
Yeah,
don't exactly have that right now. So damn, man. If anything gets me to move to a warmer climate, it's going to be the fact that I'm going to need Dom in my life closer. So,
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's something that I've always wanted in my life too, and like it's something. It's not anything that I've ever had, and I think I've been like looking and searching. But like this guy, Blake, I honestly think he's just felt the same way. So it's very reciprocal. Like he hits me up, I hit him up, like,
oh,
and
nice.
I think we're both looking for that. Um, so it's just enjoyable. That's all.
Yeah. I feel like that's Chelsea. This is kind of how I think our life is sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And
Yep. I've been in those. I've been in those too.
yeah, and I think the thing that's not brought up enough, maybe it is, parenting's hard. It's kind of what all the reading was about today. It was like, when there's men who have gone to war, it starts off with, right? And they're like, this was the hardest thing in their life. And then they parented. That's like what the whole reading was about today, which is just, it's a good reminder. It is hard. And, I don't think it's here to complain about it as much as it is just, commiserate, know things are going to be hard. I think we have to take those moments of kind of complaining. But yeah, I think that the idea of, I know you guys raise your hand if you agree with this. Dom reminds me more of my wife in terms of the social interactions and being very open for those and seeking them out. I tend not to be as much that. But when it comes to kids, you are kind of forced into some of these relationships, right? And, whether you enjoy the person, with or without the kid, whatever's going on, right? You kind of have to accept some things. Like my daughter slept over a friend's house last night, and like the dad had texted me a picture of like their multivitamin with some probiotic in it. And the probiotic I know is like completely just what I know is like a completely worthless thing. It's basically just candy. And so I'm like, yeah, she can have it if she's asking for it. Like it's not going to do anything. But like I would prefer that not to happen. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, let's kind of figure out how to like make this work. And, it's hard. Yeah. That's like the thing. Like, it's not just the interaction with your kid, right? I think that at least for me, it's the interaction with like even the parents and, planning those things. And I know in my family, Lauren takes a lot of that on, but she likes to, and she wants to. So I think like, where, where is your partner helping you out? Where are you helping your partner out? So parenting is hard. It is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not my natural state. Like I think like I grew up like my mom didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot, like we didn't do all that stuff. And I think it was always something that I, enjoyed but missed and like didn't know how to like I was not a very like I was always a shy person. Like I didn't interact with people very well. And I still like a little awkward. Like some of you have met me or ran into life in real life, like at the VCons and stuff. And I'm still a very quiet and non-engaging person in real life and in social situations. I mean, even with Blake, like when he came over, like we just hung out. Like we talked a little bit, but for the most part, like we just like sat there watching the kids, playing with the kids. Like we were teaching his son how to dive in the pool, and throwing the basketball around, and then trying not to have the kids fight each other. Like his son was picking on his daughter, and my daughter was picking on my son, and it's like, oh, so everybody's kids are assholes. Awesome. um, to each other. So it's good to see that because like he's sitting there, his kids are younger, and I'm like, hey, I hate to break this to you, but my 12-year-old is still doing this, so you got a couple more years on you. He's like, yeah, I know.
I have I remember uh growing up, I would say like that kind of like that time kind of in college when you're like now meeting new people, but you're coming back home still to like, spend the summer or whatever. Uh, one of my best friends from college, from high school, we would go on these road trips and he was going to the University of Michigan and I was still kind of on the East Coast. And so, and then we kind of had a summer job together. One of like the best. It was like landscape construction. It was great. Loved it. But it would be like Friday after work, and like work would end at like 3:30, right? Because we basically would start work at like 7 when it wasn't so hot because we'd be outside all day. And then at the end of the day, we'd be like, hey, you want to go drink in Michigan? Now we were in Jersey, right? So we were planning to go drink on a Friday night and for the weekend in Michigan because that's where his frat house was. And it's what we wanted to do. So we would just like hop in the car and we just drive straight west, right? We just hop on 80 and we just go like without question. But you know, when people say like, it's like I forget if there's an actual quote or saying here, but it's the idea that like best friends are the ones that probably aren't going to end up talking all that much in a moment. Like you can be there within silence. And I remember like in some of those road trips, like we could be silent for like 90 minutes and it wouldn't be an issue. Like it wasn't uncomfortable. We didn't have to try and find something. We didn't force it. And so I think you get like, does that make sense? Have you ever had that person? Like you just didn't have to say anything. It's like you just kind of know like what you're thinking or like what's going to happen next. And like if something comes up, you want to talk about it, yeah, you bring it up. But that's kind of how I know that was a really close relationship. And I feel like I haven't had that with like, you know, these parents that we're kind of forced into a little bit. And then you're forcing the conversation, it becomes small talk and we're talking about weather for the 7th time. And then it's just like, that is the hard stuff sometimes. Like it really is. It's plus I think as your kids get older, they start to become aware of like where you are as a parent within the social like context of things. It's like, oh yeah, well, dad doesn't do as much this, or he does more of that. And mom does this. And you're like, okay, are my kids, am I being a good role model for my kids, or am I just like keeping myself too comfortable, right, for what I need? It's a hard thing, parenting.
I mean, I'm laughing at a bunch of stuff in the chat, but I like how Chelsea was like, I'm more of a Ryan, but then I also want to be Dom like, but then I also instantly regret the moment I'm Dom like. It's like I sometimes do that too. I'm like, did I really have to invite, like, oh man, now I have to continue this conversation, like, you know, and I get like kind of stuck in my own head. And then the conversation about sleepovers are like, but I also feel like sleepovers are those things that like maybe we as parents like overanalyze when really we should just like trust our kids and let them have that. Like let them do it. And if they call you and want to come home, they call you and want to come home. Like it's just an experience that like that I think the kid doesn't necessarily want to miss out on. Like if it's something that's happening, like it would be weird to be the first person in the class or the age group to offer the sleepover. But if it's being offered to your kid's friend group, like a legitimate offer, like sometimes I feel like kids just ask for things and there's no actual like realness behind it. They're just saying, oh, you want to sleep over? And it's like their parents wouldn't even allow it like before.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets to you and it's like we're thinking about it and it's like, oh well, is it actually a thing? Because 6, I don't think we haven't done it for Bentley yet. He's 6. And I can't remember when the girls did it first. I remember the most awkward one was Brooklyn wanted to do a sleepover boys and girls for like a party like at 10 or 11 or something like that. That was really uncomfortable for us. We had to explain that to her. But it all went off fine. She had a boy and girl party where boys and girls came over, but then just the girls spent the night. So it did end up working out that way. And some girls, you know, called their parents super late at night and went home, and it just was what it was.
I have a tough time with sleepovers. And it definitely isn't about them calling me in the middle of the night. Like that to me is the best case scenario, that they want to come home. My biggest worry is hearing stories from women, less from men, although I know it happens. It happened to some people that were really close to my life. Just about things that happen, unfortunately, like very inappropriately. And so, you know, it's like, who do we actually trust? And a lot of the stories that I end up hearing from like these women, It's the people that people in their families have trusted the most, and it is a scary thing. And I also am on the side of like I don't want like I've mentioned this before, especially with my oldest, because my youngest is definitely not going to sleepovers. But I said that I will 100% trust you. Like, and I know it could backfire on me, but I'm like, whatever your decision is, whether you want to tell me something or you don't want to tell me something, whether you felt like you needed to lie to me in the moment, I trust you. There must have been a good reason for it, because I could choose not to trust you, and then we're going to end up in the same scenario. But I think that that's like, it's helped me in that kind of moment. And
Yeah.
so when it comes to like those sleepovers or those moments where I'm really nervous, I'm like, I trust that you will let me know when you need help, what you need to do. And before one of her sleepovers, someone outside of our apartment must have been like, what the hell's going on in there? Because I was like, Sloan, if someone touches your body inappropriately, what do you do? And she goes, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, that's not going to fly. And so like fast forward like 10 minutes where I'm like, what do you do when someone touches your body and you don't want that? And she's
Oh
like,
no.
I say, don't touch my body. Get off my body. So like we did 10 minutes of practicing that whole thing. And so just like screaming and like being like, no. And it was just something where I was like, this has to happen. Like, if I'm going to trust you and you want to trust me as a dad to let that kind of thing happen there. And like mom's involved in this too, obviously. But it was the idea of like, I need to know that you will speak up. I need to know that you will yell. I need to know you will kick, you will scream, you will do anything to let someone know that what they're doing, whether it's a friend or
Yeah.
someone else is going to do it. So we did that. And then recently, something happened with my youngest. And then my oldest was like, apparently told my youngest was like, she said, no, DM, that's when you end up saying that it's your body and don't touch me. And I was like, all right, got it. Okay. It got in there. And so, I don't know. My youngest will like bite people. So like, I'm not really worried about her right now, but, anyway, it's tough. Like that's like a hard thing. It's like we have this trust and we don't want to like coddle them too much. And I think that we're just like pumped fear into our head for so long, and we see these like moments. And I also know a lot of you, well, like a lot of moms out there, you're watching these shows where people are getting abducted all the time. Like I must
Hmm.
think it's scary. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I get it, but
I, so funny enough, like I don't think I've ever had that conversation like from the side of like with my girls, but I've always tried to be hyper aware of the situations when my girls have friends over, being a girl dad, of like making sure I was engaging and nice, but not overstepping any boundaries. It it just so that it never looked like anything, right? Like it was never my intention, it was never my thing. Like stayed away, but was also involved enough if they needed anything, like as far as like pizza or drinks, but like trying to stay like give my girls their privacy. Um, so yeah, I don't. It was never really a thought that I had with my girls going over, but maybe my wife did or something like that. But as far as MP, it sounds like two 6-year-old boys, and he said he was hosting, and the other people's parents were okay with it. So I mean, it's definitely I like the situation of a one-on-one, like just one extra kid. It always gets more tough when there's three, four, five, six people. So I think that's a good start, and you have more control of the situation if it's at your house than just sending your kids off and not knowing what they're doing. So I always recommend being the host,
yeah. But then again,
especially
you have
for the
to,
first one.
yeah. I think you have to definitely be, but that's also like, I think if like some people were like, hey, you know what? I think the girls are going to spend, or like the kids are going to, plan to sleep over there. Be like, yeah, but that Ryan guy wasn't very friendly. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I trust him. So then, you have to step up as a dad and kind of do that too. What was really interesting, and this was cute. But my daughter and her friends came up with a sleep under, which basically meant like they would stay late, like they would stay until like maybe like 10, and they're younger, right? So they're like Sloan's 8. So, usually bedtime's like 8 p.m. for them. but they would do a sleep under where they would all stay over and stay awake until like 10 o'clock or so. But that was a great way to kind of see like how the energy transitions, and then have the parents kind of like accept the fact that their kid's going to be up late over here, see what's going on. It was a good way to kind of build some like trust. So
Yes, MP, be the cool dad.
I feel like
Way
MP
more
would be the
fun.
cool dad, right?
Yeah. So then the kids would go home, right? They would hang
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
stay up
yeah,
a little
yeah.
late, and then they would go home.
Yeah, but it was like, it was like PJs. It was like it was like
Yeah.
they're almost transitioning into sleep because like their energy starts to kind of come down a little bit. Movie goes on, some popcorn, they wear their PJs over, and then but they end up going home, right? So I think like at that moment you kind of get to the point where most people are going to sleep, and then you can kind of like get a sense of like what would end up happening like here. And then, it's like, oh, well, are we ready yet? People want to kind of sleep over.
The worst
Yeah.
one for us was like a couple years ago. Brooklyn had a bunch of friends over here at this house, and we set up like a outdoor movie. Like we
Oh,
had like
nice.
a big tarp and a projector, and they were watching movies out there. And then it like got dark, and then like we have coyotes like that walk around in the back. So then
Oh
like
God.
one, like Brooklyn mentioned that, and one girl's like, I hear something, and it's just like the rustling of trees. But then you get all these girls just like running around screaming because they're like, one girl is maybe a little diabolical, and she's like trying to mess with them and like trying to spook everyone. And then they go up into the playroom, and then they're shutting the lights off, and that little girl is still trying to spook everyone. So it was just like nonstop, like girls running and screaming at the top of their lungs, like they were scared of something. And it never ended. Like I think one or two girls went home, and then the rest of them like barely slept. Yeah. So
I mean, those are the days. Coyotes, though.
out by, yeah, invite them like at 8 and out by 10. Chelsea, there you go.
Yeah, totally. You guys do dinner. Get transition things around. That's always good. For some reason, I don't even know where this fits in. I was on a run this morning. I knew I had to get back. I didn't have much time. I couldn't go to the gym, but I ran. I just kept running. I did like 3.5 miles this morning, which I didn't realize that my body could do. And then I was like,
Nice.
during it, like all these thoughts came up, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. When you run, all of these thoughts come together, and then you want to do all these things when you stop running. So it's like, okay, calm down. And then this one thought was in my head, and it was like 4 minutes for family. 4 minutes, and I didn't even know where to place this, but I was like, okay, when we're on stream, 4 minutes for family. When there's 4 minutes left, 4 minutes for family. And I was like, okay, define that. What does it mean? And then I was like, I don't know. And then I'm like thinking, okay, well, maybe we can just talk about like family. When there's 4 minutes left, quickly touch on family. What are we grateful for? What are we going to say? Wait, is family the couch? Should we kind of focus on the couch for 4 minutes for family? I don't know. So I was thinking about it, but I was like, I like it. I just don't know where to put it right now. That's all I have. I have nothing else to back that up with, except for the fact that we didn't really do gratitude, and that 4 minutes for family sounds good. So
I'm just thinking right now about
my
Rob
life.
big spooning Brofit. You ever see that picture of Rob and when Brian visited Rob and Chels, and they were like wearing the same outfit but reverse, and like Brofit's a big dude, and Rob, Rob's a little tiny dude, a little bit. And so that's what I imagine is, Brofit would love to be Little Spoon. He's totally a Little Spoon guy. The biggest guys are always the Little Spoon dudes.
Yeah, you know what? Moms, women, sometimes dad needs to be a little spoon.
No matter how big his muscles are.
No matter how big their muscles are, sometimes we just got to be the little spoon. Can we all accept that?
It usually means even more they want to be held.
Yeah. Also, what's not talked about enough? Being the big spoon, and how much in our life as men we've had to deal with like hair. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think we complain. I think we're like, okay, we're doing big spoon, but we're getting a face full of hair and it's stuck on my beard. Can't get it off. Sometimes I just want to be Little Spoon because I just don't want this. I don't want to get your hair out of my face the whole time.
Yeah. 100%. But what's the alternative?
Oh, it keeps happening, right? We keep spooning. It goes on. Hey, let's how about we swing back over to gratitude though. Guys, drop some gratitude. We need this kind of thing. Do you know how much evidence there really is behind just one gratitude? I think we know this. But oh God. What's going on the couch right now? Brofit.
Go on.
Calm down. Brofit. I feel like what time is it? Is it not even 6 o'clock with you yet? Chill. All right.
That guy's always on one.
I know.
What's your gratitude, buddy? Go ahead.
Oh, my gratitude. I've been taking it definitely that different direction of just trying to think of like things that are working for me, but like, you know, five words at least that are positive that I can kind of think about to kind of ground me. I was thinking about it recently and I was just like, you know, if I thought of 5 words, I said five words that I can associate with how I feel. And then like the more that you do this and the more positive those words become, the more that you embody those words. There's a really cool study that I was reading about this. And I was like, why aren't we doing that? It makes sense. And the gratitude thing, I think sometimes can feel somewhat monotonous. Not that it's bad, but recently I've been thinking that I've been feeling like really open and just like willing to accept so many things, but just open, clear, just happy, I think connected, and just ready. Like those are just those 5 things right there. Like that's just how I've been feeling. So that's my gratitude, and spending some time to kind of think about it, I think is important. So that's my gratitude right there.
Thanks. I like Chels's gratitude, man. Like this ChatGPT is becoming like a bigger and bigger thing, and using it to throw your thoughts in and quiet your mind and just kind of like be the brain. Like I used to do the thing all the time where I would just brain dump some stuff, and brain dumping it into ChatGPT is definitely like a new life hack. Sorry, I'm clicking and clicking. My bad, dude.
David, I wanted to give you some credit because I also love that you got on a call with B Miller. B Miller, you know, shout out to B Miller. I know I don't think he's usually popping in here in the morning, but I think he's been making his rounds with, you know, new people in the community. It's been really great. He's been sending some mail out to them. And David, I feel like you both connecting, you guys probably had such a powerful conversation. So that's really cool.
Yeah, man. Also shout out Dylan, always listening and lurking, but then post one comment to let us know that he is here. And Scuba Steve, what's up, buddy? Coming in randomly. Did we ever say the word open with our eyes closed? I don't know. I never know where he's coming from. Just always out of left field. Okay. All right. Speaking of lurking, exactly.
We love lurkers. The best people are lurkers, just like J-Rob.
Shit.
I came out of nowhere on that one. That was awesome.
Oh man. All right. I love you guys. We'll get back after it tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. All that stuff. Everybody have a great day.
See you guys.
See you guys. This laptop is so slow, bro.